We never used this kind of technology in my village. Nobody trusted it. The elder didn't think I'd see any flags. This could be a sign that the season is changing.
Oh. The valley. 1 second.
I'm not the first to do this. Just the first in a long time.
Is that a strotophob? What are they called? What is it? I love old gear like that. It's getting more and more rare. I had a camera, but it broke. Not that interesting of a story, I guess. What are you doing here? The whole thing, huh? You're young. You got time. What kind of stuff are you recording? That's the way to do it, if you ask me. If anyone asked me, I mean. The valley would be a good place to use those tools. Too bad it's closed down. Let me finish up here, huh?
It seems like I'll have to wait for night to enter the shrine.
Hey. This was like a second home for a while. That was fun earlier when you showed up. And I was carrying the cardboard man. You were like, who are these guys? I've been pretty bored here. You know, the valley's going to be flooded soon. That's why nobody can go in there. The dam is falling apart. Couple of days from now. Day 0, we call it. Greyhounders. We're a community organization. We do all kinds of fun stuff. Health clinics, mine sweeping, daycare, evacuations, weddings. We're new. It was supposed to be because we're helpful yet neutral. We took a vote and decided to change the name, though. We want something more friendly sounding. I'm excited to find out what it would be. We're trying to get new things going. But it's hard. The past really has a tight grip on people. Doesn't feel like a fair fight. So we're trying to, well, anyway. It's funny. I stood guard here for a week, and I've only seen greyhounds like myself, and valley people on their way. But now I see you, and you're like a new element or something. I've never met anyone doing what you're doing. And we greyhounds gotta support you with it. So, I'm not supposed to let anyone in. How can I? I think you should go down into the valley and take a look. Gotta try something here. Dang it. I was trying to wink. Well, you get the idea. Go on and put that old gear to use. You can take my map of the valley, too. I don't need it anymore. I'll be down to pick everyone up around midnight. See you then.
I met a greyhound. He let me into the valley. I think he wanted me to record what the greyhounds were up to. And he gave me a map. The assembly point seemed like a good place to start. I wonder what he expects me to discover in the valley. I'll think about what kind of visitor I want to be. The elder said that people were exhausted by symbols after the war. But here are a few hanging. The elder warned me about valleys. She said they were dangerous. I feel a dulcet tension in the air. I enter to see the moment between seasons. A skeletal version of the kind of billboard I saw earlier. I am probably the last person that will ever be welcomed here by this sign. The elder told me there's very little information about the years before 500. I have wondered about the lives beneath unkept graves. All above will remain, all below will wash away. I wonder what the flowers have to say.
God of sleep.
Memory told over and over again.
God of sleep.
She must have been important to have such an elaborate solitary tomb. These metal animals are looking up, expectantly. A green space. I feel memory in the air like pollen. It reminds me of a poem my dad was never able to finish. The first line was, "If you want to awaken the dead, just whisper."
People here are so weak.
I heard gunshots last.
Something frightening happened in this memory. But what was it?
People here.
sounds like they want to adapt their organization to the people in it, and not the other way around. There's a number to call for questions regarding the dam. There must be a lot of people going to the city if they need to keep track of them with cards. Imagine if the man I met is the only living gray hand, and the rest are cardboard. The gray hands want to end this season. They say they're going to build the next season. How? The gray hands are the future in all its uncertainty, the good and the bad, the hope and fear of progress. The loneliness of this season will be left behind. A collective project is coming. The gray hands seem to care what people think about them. The process of taking people out of the valley was also a kind of ritual, a way of bridging one life to another. They know the world they're leaving. The next one hasn't been created yet. The elder also said low places are dangerous. The city is high up like my village. Maybe it is safer. They had to leave so much behind. It's hard to imagine something new, a new way of living, but they're trying. There seems to be suspicion about the real condition of the dam and why it's being taken down. The artist has depicted the Greyhands as a child. They don't have faith in their capabilities, but see them as innocent?
Oh, thank God someone is still down there. I've been trying to get a hold of someone for hours. Ah, thank you. I forgot the Day Zero materials. You know, the visual literature, the warm bath of ideas? I left it at the dig site. It should be sitting on a barrel with a fruit sticker on it. Oh, wait! Hold on. I forgot to do the secret password. I don't even know who you are. Is it too late now, you think? Okay. What day is the day after tomorrow? Whew, okay. okay. I did figure you'd be... Sorry, I didn't recognize your voice. Hard to keep track of all the new recruits. What else was I gonna say? There was vandalism on a few of the posters. Bad stuff. I put them in the trash. Keep an eye out for more. Anyways, thanks for answering. The Day Zero material is in the dig site, pretty sure. It should be sitting on a barrel that has a fruit sticker on it. You know, I was going to say you could, the flood will destroy it anyway. So, actually, I was worried for nothing. Everything is lost in a flood. God, we really know what we're doing. I'm excited for this all to be over. I'm excited for this all to begin. Bye-bye now.
Is that your name on your collar? Let's see. You are Madrigal. And you are Mata. The sound of this bell has a lot of character. These people had to leave so much behind.
Wow, we got a big show today.
Huge show.
Breaking news. The Grey Hands have died.
We're being reborn, baby.
And we're taking suggestions for our new name.
Live on the air suggestions from the rank and file.
You don't even need to be a Grey Hand to suggest a name.
True, true.
The number to call is 0019. That is 0019. First caller, hit us with a name.
Hi, yeah. I was thinking the bricklayers.
Okay. Bricklayers.
Laying some bricks. Well, yeah, thanks for the suggestion.
We'll be taking them all afternoon, so keep them coming.
That number again is 0019. You're listening to Grey Hand Radio. We are broadcasting live from Grey Hand HQ.
And we're gonna take a little break.
If the Grey Hands are changing their name, you'd know them as something else. And your name is Toupette. I wonder who named you that. Cows from all over the world came here to compete in cow stuff? The golden season seems like such a different world. Compared to my village, they lived in the open here. They lived on the land itself. I hope in the future, at least some people are still living like that.
Wow, we got a big...
This machine looks powerful. It must have done the work of many people. This Greyhand kid just wants to be loved? I've never drank cow's milk, let alone some kind of frozen version. You are a cow and you are named Kresnahorkai. They left so much behind. I can still feel life here. For every working truck or bicycle, there is always a pile of broken ones, rated to scrape together just enough parts to get one working. I wish Pate could call this hotline to talk about his heavy dream. Looks like there's no one around anymore to enforce this. There are a lot of these signs. They must really want to keep people out of this area. I found a dig site that is fenced off from view. What were they doing here? A gray hand said he left his materials behind. It should be somewhere around here. They look relieved to have finished their work. The work at the dig site has something to do with Day Zero. There's a big tree with a researcher's notebook inside it somewhere. This is the kind of brain trouble my mom warned me about. Memories and emotions condensed into a mineral. I wonder what this channel is for. They must have already shipped out all the Harpic they need. I wonder what's on this reel. What is day 0? Maybe I can find out more about it. They dug up all that Harpic in order to conduct some sort of prayer on day 0.
I've recreated the same setup as the prayer statues, right here in my workshop. I set up a singing bowl so I can verify the pattern that will form in the water. And some Harpic, of course. Each god seems to correspond to a resonating frequency. And when this vibration acts on the Harpic, we get the, psychoactive response. Going to give it a try here.
I remember watching my dad make shadow puppets on the wall. Felt strange because I could see how it was done. I could see the trick of it, but it still felt kind of magical.
It worked. I do feel the more I do this, the more tired, and it feels like it takes me longer to return to the present. But now I have some control. I face the question of how this mineral affects the soil. I still have a lot of work to do. That's all for today.
A mineral that can affect the mind. The Greyhands present one side to the public, and another is hidden behind metal fences. There is no one to oppose them. There is only my record of what they did here. The memories of the owner now turned into a beautiful mineral. What we do to the land eventually makes its way into our blood and our brains. This can define a season. The info sign earlier said they are dangerous in large numbers. I have a pendant, though. I had an uncle who collected tools that were so old nobody knows what they were used for. I hope I get to taste some saba fruit. If it merits a sticker, must be pretty good. The earth gave and gave. It did not let up. Not even at the last minute. We collect the fruit of the land we know is dying. Who could forgive us?
Oh, no, no, no! You said we had until midnight. I'm not ready to leave. Look at all this. Wait a minute. A cute outfit, a bicycle. You're not a greyhound. What a relief. I just assumed because who else would be... What are you doing here? You're really cutting it close. I guess I'm doing research here on the lawn. I'm studying my own life. Welcome to Tiang Valley. You should have been here a week ago when the evacuation started. Almost everyone is gone now. My son and I are still here. There's a few old people left too. You might come across them. Hopefully everyone will leave the valley tonight. We're going to live in the city, in a little apartment. Look! See how they put the dimensions on the back? I recreated our future apartment here, on the lawn. This is the space we have to work with. I'm trying to really imagine what it'll be like. We're going from a big farm to one room. And we need to be packed by tonight. I already packed for myself and my son, but my husband Yuri is a little harder to pack for because he passed away recently. And I can't bring all his things. It's not realistic. His stuff is still... it's all here. It's okay. You said you're here to study the valley? My Yuri was doing the same thing. We can do this. Just need to decide. Yuri learned to paint from our neighbor, Matiora. He painted all three of these. This is a self-portrait he did. Kind of intense, right? He was more handsome than that. I wish he could have seen himself the way I saw him, you know? He was really lovely. Just occasional dark moods from his work. This is his portrait of me. We got into a fight over it. What's that supposed to mean? You just splatter some paint on the canvas and put my name on it? He said it was my essence. I don't know. Do you think it looks like me? He painted this for Kochi. Some kind of private joke between the two of them. I don't get it. They were both interested in the war and how it ended. I'm not. I just pray nothing like that will ever happen. Which painting should I take with me? Yes, Kochi will be glad we kept this one. Our old cart broke. I overloaded it. So I had to use the wheels of his bicycle. Now he's so mad he won't say a word. I've packed my essential clothes. I don't know what to do with these. This was Yuri's best suit. Maybe when Kochi grows up, it'll fit him. That's a long time away, though. My island dress. I made this for our trip to the islands, the trip we never took. It was based on a photo of a seaside Azan dance, the hours I spent on this. These are some of Yuri's clothes from when he was a kid. I thought Kochi could wear them, but he says they're itchy. So what's the use? But to throw them away, he was a little boy. He would put these clothes and he grew up. Oh, God, I mean, this hurts a little. Okay. Yes, let's bring it. It reminds me of our dreams together, things we wanted to do. All right, this is going well. But I feel like I'm forgetting something. Or someone. The demon of shame and mourning. How could I have forgotten? Now, where did I put him? We need to bring the demon of shame and mourning. When someone dies and you're in mourning, you're supposed to keep the demon in sight at all times. He's supposed to remind you of your regrets. It's a religious thing. These are Yuri's books. They're pretty heavy. This is an old religious book, The Prism of Yesterday. He didn't like to talk about his faith. I haven't read it much. Maybe there's a part of him in these pages, a part I never understood, that I could still glimpse. Maybe he would want me to keep this one, but I don't know. It just doesn't mean much to me. Yuri found this old tourist guide to the valley before we moved here. He was so excited. But this guide is really, it's from way before there's something optimistic about the colors they used. Yuri really wanted to take a trip to the archipelago together. We prepared for it a lot, even though we never made the trip. It was always going to be soon. It seems like the kind of thing no one does anymore. Since we packed the Azan dress I made, should we take this too? Or maybe that's enough Azan stuff. Which should I take with me? Yes, that seems right. Maybe I'll even read it one day. I suppose I'll be leaving the other two. I know they're heavy, but would you want to take one with you? Oh yeah, you're the last. You deserve it. Let's see how this is going so far. This book will help me remember Yuri's the dress I made for a trip never taken. We'll keep this inside joke between my boys. I think we're almost there. Let's just look a little more.
We build our lives out of what we leave behind as much as from what we carry with us.
I went through all our old photos. trying to see what I might be forgetting. I love that view. Have you been up there? By the entrance to the shrine? You really should go see it when it opens. It's just across the river and up the hill. The doors to the shrine open when the sun goes down. The monk is still in there. I hope he'll evacuate. That's Matiora. She lives east of here, out in the woods by the river. She said she'll evacuate, but she's still here. It makes me nervous, but I can't complain. We're still here, too. That's our Yuri. He worked on the trees, but he got sick. He's buried up in the cemetery. We'll have to leave him behind. No choice on that. The past is such a heavy dream, and I never remember my dreams. But when I wake up, there's a cloud of feelings the dream left behind. Then the day begins. I wonder if our memories of the valley will drift away like that. Someday Kochi will be as old as his father was. What will he remember?
He seems to have been obsessed with figuring this out. This reminds me of Dr. Fumio's musical inventions. I wonder if it's also supposed to heal with sound.
Yuri built these tools to study the valley. They were his life's work, so what do I do with them? You can't buy tools like these. My husband didn't insult God, and his life went out of him. There's the skin of our body that keeps us together, but there's also the skin of our minds. The skin of your mind can pop like a bubble, and everything that makes you yourself will come pouring and the earth will devour it the way wind fills a vacuum. They might be incredibly valuable to a scientist on the other side of the world. I don't know. I also hate them. I get you're a curious soul, but I forbid you from using them. I don't care, but he did. He gave his life trying to understand this world. I can't keep these tools, and I can't throw them away. There's even more of them, bigger ones, out at... Okay, I'm gonna turn... I want you to take them or throw them away. I don't want to know. All right, this is it. Oh. I killed him. The demon of shame and mourning. What was I thinking bringing it along? What an awful tradition. Kochi, do you still want to take a final tour of the valley? Let's get those wheels back where they belong. I know what I'll carry with me. It's something I couldn't leave behind if it couldn't be crushed, like the demon. It's too many layers deep. I'll carry the part of me that's gone. But there's so much life left. Flowers grow along it, something like that. I'm glad you came to Tiang Valley today. Thank you for being there. I didn't realize how much I needed a string. Now, there's no rush. But as you try to wrap, feel free to come ask me questions. I'll be right here until night comes. I love sounds and music. If you have anything you recorded to play me. I think Matiora is still around. She's an old artist who lives out. You could pay her a visit. These cranks. Somebody bred tons of goats during the golden season, but it got out of control. We had to cull the herd. Farmer Layton's cow. He tried everything to scare them out of the valley. He was even going to burn. I think they'll flee at the last second, like us.
People here are so weak.
I heard gunshots.
Oh, wow. The valley absorbs everything.
God of sleep.
That must be Sonia, the monk, speaking. I've never heard her voice before. If you were wondering what kind of season, well, it's mating, probably not the answer you were hoping for.
Do you want a sightseeing tour? The next tour leaves in, well, now based. Saying goodbye is like when you empty your pocket. You get to see what you picked. The things I picked up. Follow me. This is my tree. Since we can't bring it to the city, I don't care what we bring. I love the tree, and Dad cured it. That's what he did. All this purple stuff in the valley that makes you feel funny. See? This used to be purple. And dangerous. Dad made the dangerous part go away. He wanted to make it so all the purple rocks were safe and green. I know there are plants underwater. Can a tree become an underwater tree? This one can't die. It's been through too much. Let's go.
The Grey Hands have a lot of this stuff now, for better or for worse. Bird stole a small trinket. I left the bird its prize, but maybe I can learn more about the locket. The tree looks healthy. The ritual must have worked. This valley is so different than my village, but both places have an enormous tree watching over them. This tree will pass in the flood. What will be the end of the tree in Cairo?
Let's go.